it was a nightmare being with him. And it was just getting worse and worse and worse, like dangerous nightmare. Not just him, but the other surroundings of who he is and who he deals with. So
Okay.
I had to make major decisions.
Behind every smile is a story of pain, strength, and resilience. The Blueprint Podcast is where those stories are told, where we heal, evolve, and reclaim what's ours. And whether you're a woman finding her voice or a man ready to listen and grow, this space is for you. Together, we rise back into her. Before we begin, please note that today's conversation may include topics that could be sensitive or triggering. Listeners' discretion is advised. Welcome back to the Blueprint. My name is Yanique, and I'm your host. And today I have someone special. Her story embodies resilience, transformation, and power. I'm so honored to welcome Karen Casto-Chrin, also known as Karey. She's the founder of the Global Recognition Award-winning beauty brand, Hopa the Karey. Her journey hasn't been easy. It's been marked by trauma, abuse, and some unimaginable life events. But instead of letting those moments define her, she turned them into fuel to build a global legacy brand. Carrie's story is about healing, reclaiming, and choosing self-love even in the middle of pain. She's here today to talk with us about confidence, healing, and what it really looks like to rise and create something beautiful out of brokenness. So, Carrie, welcome to the Blueprint Podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I am so happy to have you. Thank you for raising your hand. I'm sure this story is going to help someone. So let's get into it. For those of who do not know you and they're meeting you for the first time, can you share a bit about your story?
So I am the mother of 3 children who
Okay.
are amazing kids. They're a big part of my business, even in their absence. So in 2017, I discovered that hops that goes in beer actually carries a blockchain of 10 terpenoids that are almost identical to cannabinoids that make up CBD. So I am the Global Recognition Award-winning beauty brand for bringing a CBD alternative to the table in place of cannabis. Throughout that journey, it wasn't easy to get up every day. Wash Away yesterday which was actually my first product name, and even do any of it because the story, which we can get into a little bit more in depth later, is no joke. It was like creating something in true tunnel vision because I had to live every day in tunnel vision, knowing that there's a light at the end of this tunnel somewhere.
Yes, yes. I have a son, so you got 3. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for introducing yourself. You mentioned that your story and your journey is nothing shy of trauma and abuse. What are some of the traumas and abuse that you've experienced?
So the journey actually took a strange turn in 2006. I was married.
Okay.
That's where the
Okay.
interesting name comes in, the hyphenated name. I had like the
Uh,
cookie cutter life. Everything was going great in my early 20s, actually, because I'm 44 years old now. And I got a phone call in 2006 when I was living in Georgia that my father had passed away in our pond.
okay.
So that's where the story started. I came home to
Mm,
visit and I ended up meeting a person who I now refer to as my children's father, who
okay.
instantly saw the trauma in me that I was going through because I was actually going through grief big time because it was a year
Okay.
after a tragedy, losing your dad in the pond you grew up on. I'm really on the lake, the same lake right now as we speak in southern
Okay.
Michigan. So I left my beautiful life in Georgia and I moved back north, which would probably be why God says he stoned the adulterer because I mean, come on, in real life, I should have not left my husband that I married, that I was in love with, and had
Mm,
this clown convince me that this was the route I was supposed to go in life. He already
mm,
had 2 children
okay.
from 2 other women, and he had told me that those women just didn't want anything to do with their kids. Well, I never had any kids, so now I know that that's not a real thing. Women
Mm,
just generally don't just want nothing to do with their children.
that's true. Yep.
So, yeah, I ended up with 3 kids with this guy, and it was an on and off thing for 5 years, you know?
Okay.
And then in 2019, he snatched my children from the Jackson, Michigan library while with my mom while
What?
I was at work, 5 minutes after I walked into work, the day after my 38th birthday. Utilizing his
Wow.
new wife, who, mind you, didn't see her child for 13 years because that was one of the 2 that he had when he met me, if that makes sense. The end caps are theirs. So he's now married to his oldest son's mom,
Oh,
and they have
wow.
12 or 13 altogether in the house.
First of all, condolences to you for losing your father, because those type of trauma definitely cause you to bond with sometimes the wrong people in life because you're going through your grief, and here comes someone suggesting that they'll save you, and you probably just got caught up in that. But when you say that he snatched your kids, what exactly do you mean?
He waited until I went into work, and they were with my mom because she became my co-parent. I had to do everything because I didn't just end things with him. I had 3 beautiful kids with him. It was a nightmare being with him, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse, like dangerous nightmare.
Mm,
Not just him, but the other surroundings of who he is, if that makes sense, and who he deals with. So
okay.
I had to make major decisions thinking that I was protecting my children. But somebody like this, they, for one, have the more money to be able to afford better attorneys. He used a different state. Indiana claimed we lived there when we live in Michigan. Indiana
Mm,
heard our whole entire custody case till I finally won 10 years later. And now it's in Michigan and COVID happened. So it was just like one thing after another, just like a series of terrible events that have just led us to where we are now, you know? But yeah, he rolled up, waited till I walked into work. He did it twice. So 2017 was the first time. He got away with it for a year. And then I got my kids back through therapeutic visitations, and we were having the best summer ever that year. We
mhm,
actually, they became Poshmark ambassadors. We had plans because he took them from school too. In 2017, when he did it the first time, he took them out of school, so I couldn't utilize our custody order. So my kids don't
mm.
have an education, and
Wow.
all they wanted to do is go to school. So I was getting ready to get them into school. I had an attorney in Indiana and an attorney in Michigan, and those 2 attorneys were communicating to get this case in Michigan because there was nothing that anyone could do if Indiana held the
Yeah.
uh, papers, because in reality, they call us the United States, but we are the most united states ever because our states don't communicate at all. They follow different
Mhm.
laws. But yeah, nonetheless, best summer. We had a safety plan intact. I had advisement through both attorneys, my Michigan attorney and my Indiana attorney. The only thing signed on the table at that point was by a judge in Jackson County who signed an emergency pickup order taking all of his rights until jurisdiction was established. But because it was signed an ex parte order, Michigan
Wow.
State Police couldn't enforce it. So somehow
Wow.
that just disappeared and vanished because it's still the only thing that's ever been signed by a judge in the county who has jurisdiction from us now,
Wow.
other than a child support order. So now I pay him child support for my children who I don't even know where they are.
Oh my goodness. So you've
Yeah.
never so the second time that he took them, you have not gotten them back?
I went through a couple therapeutic visitations, about 5 months worth, where I thought it was like Indiana, where it's like a couple months and then they give you your time back with your kids. My mom and I were traveling all the way up to Traverse City, which is like, I say 4 hours. It seems like that far with stops, but it's 3.5 hour drive from Jackson, Michigan to Traverse City there, and 3.5 hours from Traverse City back to Jackson. 6 hours, like actually 7 total drive for 1 hour, hoping my kids would show up for the visitation.
Wow. I'm so sorry that that happened to you. That must be tough. What ages are your kids?
My oldest is 16 now. My
Do you
daughter is 14. I don't have even
Okay.
have a phone number for them.
Oh, no,
And then my
Karen.
little boy is my youngest is going to be 13 actually this month.
So
And
that's
he was the
6
boss of the business, let me tell you.
so 16, 14, and 13, you have no communication with them,
I don't even
and
know where they are.
wow. So even if you wanted to file something, you don't even know where to file to because you don't know
I would
where they
file
are.
in Michigan, but they don't care. The courts don't. I mean, I'm at the point where I've seen it all in family courts, and they literally just need to close the doors for every single family courtroom there is. And unless it is a case of abuse and neglect, it should be
Yeah,
equal parenting rights across the board.
yes.
No child support
And
on the table, women or men.
this is something that we don't see very often, right? We oftentimes see where the dad doesn't want anything to do with the kid, and they are the ones who are fighting to get back custody at times. So this is on the flip side, the mother doesn't know where her kid is. A mother's love is just undeniable love. And so the pain that you're probably feeling, like, talk to us about how you are feeling in this process that you don't even know where your kids are. How you get up every day and handle that pain that comes with that.
I started a company. I became the
Mm,
apothecary. I had to literally, I have, so the Liberties is one of our collections. I have 250 products that I have branded,
wow.
formulated, brought to life. And literally the names on them is my life story, our life story being me and my children's life story.
Okay.
So like the Liberties, there's Little Liberty, which is Viola's collection.
Okay.
It's a Smart Start skincare. She knows all about it because I started the
Hmm.
Liberty is the first year they were kidnapped, 2017. And then Lady Liberty is my collection. And then Lady Justice, I've taken off the table because there still has been no justice yet. But that's like the everything collections, like for body soaks and different things.
Okay.
So creating those helped me through a lot of it. And then I did the Bulletproof Mineral Cosmetics, and they all launched on Broadway, which was crazy.
Oh,
Broadway got a hold of me in 2023. So I mean, with the curveballs and the hatchets and the bullets I've dodged, there's like these lights that keep getting me by every day. But one of my slogans for the Liberty collection is life happens, don't let it age you, be statuesque. Because I also worked a full-time job and I actually got a complaint like 2 weeks after they were kidnapped. I mean, I didn't want to get up. The fact I do still every day is mind-boggling.
yes. Yes.
That I'm not
Because
on
I
some
can,
kind of antidepressants or heroin. Yeah, I mean, it's a reality. This is why people end up drug addicts a lot or major alcoholics because they can't even cope with the reality of the situation. When you're grieving the living, it's a nightmare. So I got a complaint where one of the manager is like, I don't even want to tell you this complaint, but you got a complaint yesterday that this person got the best service ever. I'm like, hold on. There's no complaint there. If someone got the best service ever, where's the complaint at? Because
mhm.
I didn't smile the whole time. So that's where Statuesque came through. Because I did. And then I became an event coordinator. I was making fun of that jerk who complained about his best service ever. I'm like,
Wow.
because I mocked a lot of stuff because I just had to make jokes because I couldn't even believe it was all happening. So I even became an event coordinator and I had to do all these weddings. And right after the second kidnapping, I had just got promoted because I worked the same place. That's what's really mind boggling is nothing about my life changed. I moved in with my mom. My mom doesn't drink, doesn't even smoke cigarettes, no cigars, no cannabis. She doesn't do anything. She's straight edge. So is her husband.
Mhm.
I've never been in trouble. When I was 19, I have one thing on my record. I got a DUI. I never, ever, ever sipped one drink ever and got behind the wheel again because jail wasn't the place for me. I learned
Yeah.
when I was 19. So the fact that there's nothing about me in my history for him to be able to get away with this, it just shows that our judicial system is effed up.
Yes. And that's very sad. You should be able to see your kids. You should be able to fight that decision and you should be able to locate them, like at least give you visitation rights so that you can have, because you said you're paying child support.
Yeah, oh, yeah. He wants
Wow.
$33,000 from me.
Oh,
I mean, that what I lived through is it's a nightmare.
I'm so sorry you're going through that, but your kids are almost at the age where they can really find where their mom is. And it shouldn't be that hard for them to find you as well because you have a global brand. Talk to us about some of the products that you sell. You mentioned skincare. Tell us a little bit more about some of those products.
So I actually have to let you know this. I'm a two-time global award winner because I just won another award
Oh,
with the Global Trade
okay.
Chamber, and I will be going to Miami to get my crystal. And I'm best in Miss
Okay.
Biz for wellness. So three times award, but two
Yay.
global. Huge. And
Oh
my
my
Manhattan
goodness.
launch made me a global brand. So there's some big stuff happening with the business. So I founded the company when I discovered that hops had the potential of being a CBD alternative because it was right during the
Okay.
cannabis boom in Michigan. And I worked at the brewery at the time. That's actually where I discovered it, trying to make a lip balm to make extra money to pay lawyers because that's where all my money's
Uh,
went in my life is to attorneys and to child support now. But hold on, I did support my children. Or when I had my kids, that's where my money went. You know what I'm saying? I never
okay.
asked for a dime from the clown. Even the friend
Yes.
of the court at one point said, I said, I don't want his money. And they said, well, oh, well, he wants yours. And that was before the kidnapping. So the friend of the court in Michigan,
Uh,
they even know this, but nonetheless, so that's why I started the brand. But then everything was going on, and I really didn't have the research and development for the Hoppy products because no one had done it. And so I really
yeah.
needed to research it and close the book on it so no one even got the idea to start doing it, you know? So I went through years of research and development. I started with the Liberty collection, which like I had said, is Viola's Smart Start skincare. So it's clean enough for a girl to start using at 8 years old. Because
Okay.
girls are starting to want to take care of their skin at 8, which they should. But they
Yeah.
don't need all these adult ingredients. They're not
Yeah.
good for young skin. Um, So yeah, and then Lady Liberty is my anti-aging system, which is super simple and affordable. I make sure everything is always affordable. Granted, when I launched it
Okay.
in New York, it wasn't as affordable, but when you launch in Manhattan, you jack those prices up just for someday when the big brand buys you, they can do that with your stuff. You know, you put a bigger price point on it. It's
Yeah.
more of a showcase when you're out there on Broadway. So anyways, and then the Bulletproof Mineral Cosmetics, they are my spray. I thought maybe I had some sitting down here, but I guess I brought them up to the studio. So they're my spray mineral cosmetics. So you never
Okay.
open the jar, so you can never
Yes.
contaminate your
Great.
makeup.
Okay.
It's all
Nice.
spray and it's one size fits all. So it's would work on your skin and it will work on my skin. I know for a fact
Very
because actually the gentleman whose house this is, he's Nigerian. So he's darker than
okay.
you. And I have actually
It.
put the mugshot ready photo finish on him. Be ready to get framed, which is that's the name of that product. And it actually just gives him a perfect like glow. So yeah, pretty simple little cosmetic collection. Two makeup products, and then there's the bullets, which are the lip color, and it's a natural lipstick that is actually in little bullet shaped um tubes. So I have like the funny
Okay.
names on them, like the Golden Glock, the AK-47, which is like a pink one. So yeah, there's just three super simple. And then my body indulgences. So those are the
Oh,
non-hoppy products. And then my
nice.
alpha beta topical solutions, I actually launched for the first time in 2024 in July in front of the original Sharks down in Florida. So I actually filmed two
Wow.
TV shows last summer, one in um, Clearwater Beach area in front of four celebrity entrepreneurs, and then which it's on Inside Success TV, so it's
Oh,
actually
wow.
already airing. It's called Pitch Your Way to the Top, and then The newest show that I filmed in August of last year was 7 days in Tulsa, Oklahoma on a reality TV show, live-in reality TV show called The Beta Blocks. And it's 100 entrepreneurs
Wow.
from across the US chosen out of 100,000 applicants to live,
Yes.
learn, and do all this on TV in Tulsa. And that just actually aired on Sunday, season 18.
Wow. That's amazing. Listen, I'm inspired. I don't know about
Thank you.
you guys listening, but I'm inspired. And if you are inspired and you want more stories like this, ensure that you are clicking the subscribe button so that you will be alerted once these stories are out. But this is amazing, Carrie. Like, who would have thought? Like a lot of women nowadays are going through their pain. As you mentioned, you could have been depressed and in bed and on antidepressant medication, but you said no. I'm challenging this pain, this energy and this pain into something else. I'm gonna work on this product. I'm gonna start building this, and I'm not gonna focus too much on what I'm going through in life. I'm sure it still pops up from time to time, but
Oh, it's there all the
I
time.
know, yeah, when you are busy, you are able to channel your energy elsewhere. But many women struggle with doing that, and especially struggle with self love, especially when they're going through trauma or any kind of issues that could potentially prevent them from moving forward. So, what practices or mindset actually help you to build your confidence and heal?
It has been, like I said, I know we're not alone here in this world because through all this crazy, terrible stuff, there's always these little lights that are
Mm-hmm.
thrown at me. And Amazon, when I became accepted to launch my products in New York City, Amazon is in my inbox wanting me to apply to be an influencer. And I'm like, I don't even
Mm-hmm.
shop Amazon. I kid you not. I'm not even well, now I'm not going to say that because now I'm a big Amazon influencer.
Yeah.
So that helped me channel a lot because I'm getting all these free items. And how many people can say that they have
Oh,
100 free items show up on their doorstep one day that they just have to create content for? Oh, I say 100. Girl, you should have
oh
seen what
my
I got from the
gosh.
TikTok load. 500 items in 4 days from TikTok shop. So, like, it's been impossible not to channel it out because I get these things that are like, and I mean, things are just things, I mean, face it, you know what I mean? You can't take them with you, but still, it was like, I must be becoming someone my kids would be so proud. Too bad they're not
Yeah,
here with me to enjoy this stuff, right? Because we'd be like true rock stars at this point if they were here
of
to be
course.
enjoying this. Because who doesn't love getting free mail at your doorstep, stuff that people are. So, yeah, it's been like the weirdest things that, like the TV shows. I'm like, I never thought I'd travel out of the state of Michigan again. Next thing you know, I get to go to
Yeah.
Florida. I get to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and meet all these awesome people um, in entrepreneur incubators and not just meet people, but learn. So, I mean, as far as that's really been it, it seems like I'm a
Mhm.
workaholic.
You just stay
Open to,
busy.
I opened, but it's not just for me, right? I don't just do this. It's like the universe is like, she's starting to slip. Let's throw TikTok shop at her.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, my mom doesn't even know what to do because she's like, Carrie, this is getting out of hand. You got another 75 boxes here. I'm like, oh my goodness. But then my TikTok page gets hacked. So there's like the curveballs that life
Oh,
throws at you where it's just like, my goodness. But like, this is crazy. I just got this hookah sent to me from Amazon. It's like a real cute little, it's a hookah for like the hookah lounges. Isn't that funny? I just
yeah.
got it today and it like lights up and stuff. They
Wow.
find me everywhere. So yeah, it's really, it's an interesting journey because I'll tell you what, like, I don't know if it wasn't for me starting the brand back in 2017. It's like I knew I had to do something bigger for us. I don't know
Yeah.
how I'd be doing it. I mean, I do have this nitrogen cup I just got too, which is cool. Have you seen
Yeah.
these?
That's so cool. That's definitely an inspirational story because it's almost like God is sending you stuff to distract you from everything that is going on. But you mentioned that you are a workaholic. This you're doing TikTok, you're doing Amazon, you're doing your own business. What does self-care look like for you?
getting up every day and washing away yesterday. Like I said, that was my first product ever. I also like, I'm really blessed with the friends I have. I keep my circle very small, but the people I have are incredible. Like, I'm on my favorite lake on an island right now in southern Michigan. Do you know what I mean? Safe because
Yeah.
there's cameras everywhere around me. You know what I'm saying? So I have really good friends. There's a sauna here. I get to
Yes.
go swimming, go sit at the lake, go fishing if I want. I love to garden. That's really my favorite thing to do ever. And figuring out what else I can do with nature next. That's my self care. That's what I enjoy. Cooking. I love to cook. Actually, a couple people have told me lately that I'm in the wrong industry. I should probably become a chef. And like that was the industry I used to be in. Then COVID happened. And it's kind of the same thing, right? Making skincare and cooking
Yeah.
food. So, but yeah, I love to create food, but I love to garden. And I just learned the other day, actually, you can dye stuff with hibiscus. So I've been like on this
Yeah.
dyeing kick. So it's kind of, that's my self care, really.
Yes, that's good. I love that. Cooking, gardening, Amazoning, TikToking, all of these fun things. And so
Poshmarking,
women,
can't forget Poshmark.
right. Oh yeah, that too. I have so many clothes I need to put on Poshmark to resell, but you may have to teach me all of these things because I'm an Amazon influencer and I'm not doing anything with it. So you probably maybe we met for a reason. You probably have to put me on some game. Um
I'll teach you the tricks. I definitely know
yeah,
the tricks. I've been
because
doing
I've
it.
never gotten any free products before. I don't know how to do that.
I'll teach you the ropes and you'll be loaded with free products. You might want to kick me later, but it's okay. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's not like you can't tell them no or whatever, but there's some things that I have right now and I'm like, I don't even know who sent these to me. Filters. Like, I'm like, I
Oh
don't
my
even know what
gosh.
this filter would go in.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And definitely, women, if you are listening to this, there are so many different ways that you can refocus and realign instead of focusing on the pain and the problem that you have in front of you. So I must ask, what do you want women listening to this to take away from your journey?
If I can do this, so can you. And it's not just about
Mm,
women either. It's about men because, it's a hard knocks life out there. You just got to get up
yeah.
every day, wash off or wash away yesterday, put your skincare on, dress the best that you can, and just tomorrow's a new day.
Tomorrow's a new day. Wake up in the morning and ensure that when you go through that door that you are feeling the best and looking your best because once you look your best, then the energy is shown on the outside as well. So that's amazing. When you think about your legacy as a mom and also as an entrepreneur, what do you want people to remember about you?
And that I am the founder of Hoppy Skin, CBD alternative, baby. No drugs needed.
No drugs needed. Anything you wanna say to your kids if they should come across this video? Is there anything you want them to know? Anything this is your moment to just speak to them.
My kids know that I love them more than anything. If they were ever told anything differently, then they were being lied to. And I never quit fighting. I never walked away, even through all of this branding and creating. I have had an attorney in my pocket until I finally didn't need the attorneys because your dad got child support and that's all that really mattered on the
Yeah.
table. And when you get old enough to get the hell out, don't get stuck like your older brothers, get the hell out. I'm here for you.
And you just made a point that I wanna go back to. So, when everything was happening, you knew you needed to get out of that relationship. You knew, even with 3 kids, that this wasn't going to work. Where did that strength come from that you were like, "Yes, this is it." I know eventually he came and he grabbed your kids, but prior to that, there must have been a point where you said, "Enough is enough, and I'm gonna reclaim my life." What did that look like for you, and how did you make that decision?
So interestingly enough, there's a whole blog out there that's time stated and stamped, like stamped,
Mhm.
time stamped and dated from
Okay.
2013 called runningandrubyreds.wordpress.com. And it
Okay.
is my story about having to get the hell out of that scary ass clown house
Yeah.
situation. Everyone's name is changed in it down to mine and my kids. No one's names are there. But it is definitely my story. I'd say the day I finally knew that it was time that it wasn't getting any better was when he destroyed my vehicle the night of my best friend's wedding when I was her maid of honor and went to jail that night, actually. So there are police reports out there that aren't even cool. And then there was a time we were stuck on Mackinac. It was all like this series of events that were like, okay, this is only getting worse. Um, he's a drug dealer. So he got himself into major debt with just not a good group of people. And yeah, I knew I had to get my kids out. We lived on this lake actually right across on the drive, and I knew it was time. And somehow, some way, he got away with this. But there's an ending to every story.
Yeah, I just pray that they are okay, that he is being a good dad to them, that they are not being abused. Because you just never know. And if you don't have access to them for them to talk to you, to tell you what's going on, the only thing that we can do is continue to pray and hope that they're okay. But I'm so happy that you were able to find the strength to actually leave, to actually say, you know what? I'm putting my kids first. I'm putting my life first. This is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not getting any better. I cannot be with someone who abuses me or abuses my things. And so I am proud of you for actually walking away from that situation, because a lot of women aren't able to, especially if he is the primary provider in the relationship. They feel stuck. They feel like this is where I need to be. So just give us maybe a minute of an advice to women who are in that situation, who feel this is it. This is the end all be all. I can't go anywhere.
First of all, it will go somewhere. You're not alone. Don't be ashamed or embarrassed. Even if
Uh-huh.
you're not seeing a bruise on your face.
Yeah.
Mental abuse is just as bad as physical abuse. Get a side hustle of some kind.
Mm.
Get on the internet, find a side hustle. For one, it will make your horizons broaden because you're going to know people in case you really do need
Yeah.
help someday. Maybe it's not a friend from your hometown, but it's somebody who has a voice who can get you out if you end up in a pickle one night because you never know. You know,
Yeah.
it takes one night. I had a doctor tell me once that she used to work in the emergency room, the ER. She was my doctor for a long time. She knew there wasn't something quite right in my life. And she told me, she said, I've got to tell you this, my dear. She said, I wasn't an ER doctor. She said, and 75% of the people who visited my ER were domestic violence victims. And
Mm.
only 10% of those victims lived.
Wow.
And
Wow.
a lot of it was one time to where it was their first time actually being physically abused by a person.
Oh, wow.
So get a side hustle, keep your mouth shut, and figure out how to get the hell out of the situation because it only gets worse. Don't let them tell you they
Yeah.
changed because people just don't. The song
Yes.
and dance of an abuser. They change every other day.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. If he hits you once, it may happen again. In fact, it usually happens again. So do not be like, oh, it's just a mistake. Just put yourself first, especially and your
Mm.
kids, and get out, because it's gonna continue to happen, because it's gonna show that you accept it and he can do it again. All right, so we're
I
gonna
want to say
wrap up
one more
short.
thing before you wrap up because you did make a good point. But for anyone who does get out, you need to be really careful who you let in for quite some time because you're not
Mhm.
mentally ready for some time. You need to let yourself heal. And there's also a
Yes.
thing called a pawn, and that is somebody who is sent into your life by an abuser to continue
Mm,
to abuse you. And that is a real thing that a lot of people don't realize. So once you get out, just start self love and
yeah.
enjoy being alone. Loneliness isn't always so bad.
Yes. Loneliness isn't always so bad. Take time to heal and do not be quick to let people back into your space because when you are lonely, when you are going through your trauma, everything feel like comfort. So thank you so much for that last bit of encouragement and for our listeners. So where can they find Hopa the Karey? What contact information do you want to share with us?
So you can actually Google the brand name, which is
Okay.
HOPATHEKAREY. And I'm working very hard on getting Hoppy Skin.com launched by Monday. I am creating my website on my own because that's how I roll. But BeautyBox.com is also a website where it's surprise boxes that I own that domain, and I'm really going to start
Okay.
rolling with that. But yeah, I'm everywhere: Poshmark, Amazon, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So yeah, just Google me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So before I wrap up, I like to end with rapid fire questions. So these are intended to be quick. So are you ready for that?
Let's roll.
Let's roll. All right. So the first one, what's one thing you tell yourself on days your confidence feels low?
Look how beautiful you are. I look in the mirror. Yeah,
Ladies,
look at
you better
you.
tell yourself that. You better look in that mirror and tell yourself, look how beautiful I am. I
Mhm.
love that because also I'm working on affirmation cards, ladies, and part of affirmation card is for you to reinforce the things that you already know that you may be forgetting, but one is definitely that you're beautiful. You're doing a great job with that then, Carrie, because we all need to remind ourselves that we're beautiful. Awesome. What's a small daily practice that helps you heal and stay grounded?
I lay in bed for an hour every morning after I wake up and I lucid dream. So I just really dream out my day and that grounds me for the whole day.
Nice. Okay. I love that. And when life gets heavy, what's your go to way of pouring back into yourself?
I just create skincare and products. I do. It is my thing. It's what has kept me going. That's why I have 250 products. I can't stop. New collections, another new collection.
Listen, let's take a moment to really hear what she just said. She has 205 products. That ain't no small fry, okay? That's big fish. And so that really shows that she puts time and energy into creating her brand. And it also prove why she's probably a global brand awardee as well. So not just once, but twice, you said?
Yeah.
That's
Miami,
amazing.
here I come.
Yes, that's amazing. So I'm definitely gonna follow you because I want to keep up with your journey. And I appreciate you sharing your story. It is heavy, it is deep, and I am sure that, as you mentioned, every day it's something that you think about, but you try to channel your energy into something different. So keep going. I'm sure it's all going to pay off. You're still taking care of your kids. I just wish that it will eventually get to a point where you can spend time with them as well. So, kids, your mommy love you. And ladies, take a page out of Carrie's book because you don't have to stay focused on the pain that you're going through. Find a way to channel your energy elsewhere. Find a side hustle so that you aren't completely reliant on your abuser or the person that you live with. Because if you do have a side hustle, you have some level of independence that you can utilize. So thank you so much for sharing that. Please, ladies, look out for my book. Sis, You Are Her, which will be available in December. Follow me to know exactly the date that it will be launching. And as Carrie said, remind yourself every day that you're beautiful. So look out for my affirmation cards. They are also coming out in December, and I can't wait to share them with you. Like Carrie, I like to do everything myself. So I am designing those on a daily basis just to make sure that they are exactly what I want them to be. Again, if you want to follow me, you can follow me at Sis You Are Her. or Yanique the CEO. And you can also visit my website, YaniquePWalters.com. So thank you so much for tuning in to another amazing episode. Thank you so much for being here, Karey. And I really do enjoy this conversation. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait to check out your book and your affirmation cards.
Yes, I can't wait to share it. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching another episode of The Blueprint. Please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share this video. Until next week, take care. Bye.